Welcome back to Tao of Twang. I'm Dave. So we've got a 12 bar blues in A here for you. I've got that tabbed out, what you just saw in the intro. We're going to get right into it here in just a second. After the lesson portion of the video, there'll be several minutes of that backing track for you to just play, that routine over. Once you get it, dialed in, if that's what you choose to do, and then you can use it just to improvise and kind of build on that framework. And when I say framework, there's a couple of specific things about it that don't require a lot of analysis and don't get too hung up on it. But here's what I had in mind when I composed that little intro. A couple of things. First, you've heard me say all the time, use pickups that lead to the downbeat, and especially in blues and stuff. That's I stand by that advice. In this case, though, you see on this tab right away that I put the chord, um, you know, in several measures of it right before the lick starts. And then I offset, so you have like a okay. I did that so that you can practice it and do the ear training and stuff for it, like off to the side, right? You don't have to rely on the click or um, the uh, uh, the the backing track counting it for you, right? So you can go at whatever speed you want. That's that first lick right there, okay? And the other thing that I would just kind of mention quickly, and then we're just going to go through it, and then I'll get you to the practice loop, is that that first part there features some notes that are not in just the straight up blues scale or the minor pentatonic, right? That minor pentatonic's like, well, that's the blues scale. I put that extra one in there to. Okay, and we know that's going to work great over this 12 bar pattern. Just does, um, in blues in general. Okay, so but in this lick, I put these two notes specifically, right? And many of you are going to notice right away, well, that looks like a major pentatonic. That's right. So, and here's kind of, I think the really important reason to look at that. In major pentatonic, it's the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Now, if right when I said that, you know, that got hit one of those kind of, anxious buttons like, uh-oh, now we're talking numbers. And don't worry about it right now. Um, those of you that are using that understanding of intervals and stuff, great. And in part two, we'll look at the scale tones and stuff a little bit more. What I want to do in this series and many other things on the channel is get you playing, then we'll unpack it and talk about it. Right? We're not going to do a bunch of work on the chalkboard and then go out and try to start playing. Right? We start playing now, and then we use that playing experience to build our knowledge of theory. At least that's how we do it on the twang. So you've got a lick there that doesn't have any seventh in it, right? Okay. Yeah, there's that our old friend the flat seven. So that in the second lick here where I go, okay, we slide up there and we include that. We have a little 3-string A7 right there. It's a great shape. And so see, you get kind of these two tonal landscapes that work together that lead you through the song. Okay. And again, you don't have to do a lot of analysis on this, but that's kind of what's going on and what was in my head when I created this for you. So now let's just go through this piece We might point out a couple places where this sort of thing happens again, but you'll hear it now, right? You'll hear that whenever the flat seven shows up, and it shows up on all of the chords, not just the A, right? Because in blues like this, all of the chords can be and often are dominant sevens, right? So, um, here we go. Let's just put this up. We already went through this one, but let's start from the top. Okay. Hopefully, you can just get that from the tab and from watching and listening. Use your ear as well as your eyes. Now, 2 for 1. That's the second half of that A one down here, right? Exact same thing, but starting on that position for D rather than A. Okay. A lot of things in blues and other styles are like that, right? Sometimes it's literally the exact same thing, and that sounds cool. Our ear likes that, right? And then, later on, after a few times around, if you're really jamming on this, trading off with somebody or jamming, at an open mic or a blues jam or something, then, you you embellish it differently and you kind of go, but you have like a kind of in jazz they call it a header. You have like a melody that's already established, for the beginning of it, right? So we've got that D is, then that's back over the A, going back to, that's a little. I didn't put that on the tab maker that I use doesn't have that great of like, little notes or whatever. But you can give that a little, right? I think I just put the notes on there, but you can give it a little, and then there's a little A triad. I auditioned playing a flat seventh with that, like, and it just sounded, I didn't like it. It's like you don't always want to do the flat seven. Even though, like, if you know me, like, I'm just talking about the flat seven all day, right? But there are times where you need to pass it by, maybe. And for me, that was one of these times you don't want to. It was like, that's too much, right? I'm just going to do the triad. Okay. Then, now that's like that same little 3 chord uh, uh, shape for the dominant seventh that we did for the A and the D, but I've got it all the way up here for E. And you might just have to do some mapping of your own and some referencing, like however you track your octaves and your chord tones and things, your shapes, just to get that. And, you could do any number of things rhythmically with that, right? And once you get going on your own over the practice loop, that's what you're doing. I'm going, but you could, right? And so that's when it gets fun. You just start experimenting with all these different rhythmic things using the same fingerings. And then, and now I've experimented so much, I don't remember exactly what the tab said or what I played right there, but I think it was, that's it. I recognize it now. Okay, and notice sometimes I'm sliding in, sometimes not. And those are other things that you can those are just musical choices that you'll make in real time, I don't, I try to keep the tab, very much about the notes And then, the embellishments and things, that's why I'm going through it with you, so you can get a sense of sort of the physicality of it, right? And then I just went a little tiny A chord, right? Just what is that? A root and a third. It's kind of part of. Again, it's not a seventh or anything. It's just a little harmony right out of those notes that are in the A triad. And then I went. Okay, so this is a little turnaround up here. And you can just practice that off the tab. That same melody is played in a lower register down here over in the backing track, so it's a little redundant sounding. I noticed after I did it, but that's okay because we're just going to use the backing track as a guide right now. And then this last little piece is just it's kind of a truncated version of a 9 chord, just for that turnaround up to that E7. Then you're back at the top, and you can just go through it a few times like that, and then start doing your own thing. But you'll have a real framework that uses these different concepts and has that shift, strong shift going to that flat 7 at key moments in that 12-bar blues progression. Let me know how this goes. Be looking out for a part 2 where we're just going to have more fun and drill down into it a little bit more. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.